morning and happy Monday and welcome to this day in the life vlog. I really enjoy filming these because I feel like it gives you guys a realistic look into what I actually do as a social media manager, and I also feel like it gives me an opportunity to show some really interesting parts of my business, give you a peek into my systems, my workflows, how I work with clients, how I manage my own marketing, how I organize my day and structure things. So I'm hoping this vlog will be really interesting and also really valuable for my fellow social media managers or freelancers or service providers. I think I'm just gonna have to take out my heatless curls because this is the side you can tell that I've slept on and it's all fallen out. So I feel like we're gonna have an issue today with one really curly side of my head and then one not so curly. So, oh, it still feels a bit damp as well. This might just be an overall fail. I haven't done heatless curls in a while because I've been just loving my straightener, and then I realized my hair was just looking a bit like damaged. So I was like, oh, I should probably go back to my heatless curls for a little bit, or at least alternate between them. But ironically, we might have to touch this up with some heat. Look at the difference. Yeah, it's still a little bit wet as well. Let's just clip it back for now because I've done my morning routine. I've read my book. I tried to do some journaling, but I did some journaling last night before I went to bed and I was like, I have nothing more to write right now. So I did some guided meditation instead. It's really easy for me to do my morning routine on days like this when I feel really inspired and energetic and excited. I'm not gonna lie, some days it's very hard, but I know if I do a proper morning routine, if I don't have phone time immediately when I wake up or roll over and just grab my phone, I have a better day. It sets me up better. So we like to do a little bit of that. This book, 101 Essays to Change Your Life, I've been literally reading slowly like a snail's pace for 2 years. I just find the structure of it becomes really repetitive, and some of the essays are like really short, like this one was only like 2 pages. Some of them are in like a listicle form like this, so they're really easy to read. But yeah, as you can see, the first part of the book I had like a lot of sticky notes of stuff that really resonated with me. And then recently I've just been not that inspired. So I might have to change my morning book after like 2 years of trying to slowly get through it. We also have the Bitch Power mug. This is the title of my book. If you guys don't know, I self-published a book on Amazon all about finding your power as a female entrepreneur. It is now 7:41 and we are going to jump into some emails and take a little look at the to-do list for today. So you guys know that I love using a lot of different organizational software. This isn't sponsored, by the way. I've done work with Trello, with Xtiles, with a whole bunch of companies, and it's kind of my job and what I do to like test out new software. And because of that, I end up using like quite a few different things for different parts of my business. But today we're going to be doing a lot of planning, and for my bigger picture planning, when I'm trying to like drag and drop ideas and stuff like that, I do like to use Xtiles. This is my little planner, which I updated yesterday on Sunday, just so I knew what I was doing the week ahead. We can tick off the morning routine for Monday. And you can see I've actually divided the day up into categories, into client work, marketing work, and some admin work, and then just like what I'll be doing in the afternoon if I get there. But I think a lot of what I have on here are quite short things that aren't gonna take me a lot of time, fingers crossed. We're gonna tackle some emails, we're gonna put up some stories on Instagram, I'm gonna send out a newsletter to my list, and I really like to focus in first thing in the morning on a couple like marketing activities, things that are going to help move the needle forward in my business before I get distracted working on client work, because it's very easy just to I just saw a client email. Who emails at 7:30 in the morning on a Monday? Like, I just woke up. I am not going to lie to you in this vlog, guys, okay? If I have nowhere to be in the morning, if I don't have any meetings, I will be in my pajamas. And in fact, sometimes I have meetings and I still take them in my pajamas and I just pretend they're not my pajamas. It has just gone past 9 o'clock. I have done all of my marketing activities for myself first thing this morning, and I have ignored my client. And I just want to normalize that for my fellow service providers. Sometimes it's okay if you ignore a client for a couple of hours just so you can do your own stuff. Because at the end of the day, your business is actually the most important thing, okay? So if you need to do that, there is your permission. I sent out an email to my list about a promo that I'm running. I posted on Instagram stories. I sent out an email to my list for the studio. I also did some quick emails and a phone call for the studio. If there's one thing you need to know about me, I hate calling people. But if calling someone means I'll make some money, then I will ring someone. So we had a drama with our studio bookings, and I don't want to go into it because, to be honest, it frustrated me and someone stuffed me around massively. So we're just not going to talk about that. But I think, fingers crossed, it's all sorted now and people are happy. So that's my second business. In case you guys don't know, I have a content studio. Sometimes she's a pain in the butt. There is a pile of junk in the corner of my office, but we're just going to ignore that. We're going to pretend you don't see that. And I'm going to have my breakfast and then get into my client work finally. We're going to smash that out because I want to do some Q2, Q2 planning, some bigger picture goal setting, planning in my business, and I want to bring you along and show you that. Far more exciting than working on someone else's business. Am I right? Do other social media managers have this problem when you're like, I just want to work on my stuff? It is 10:27 and I've finished my client templates that I needed to do and emailed those off. In case you're curious, of course I am using Canva for all of my social media graphics and templates. I did a little bundle for this client. I've previously done a social media strategy and sort of training session with them. I do a bit of consulting with them. They use my content studio, and then they asked me a couple of months ago to do a template bundle. So the way that I figured that out was just like chatting backwards and forth with the client, seeing what exactly they wanted, and we settled on a bundle of 10 graphic carousel templates and 10 reels. And some of those reels, as an added bonus, I actually shot some custom b-roll for them, which I don't usually do for template bundles, but I wanted to throw that in there to kind of like sweeten the deal, and I knew it would just make the reels perform better rather than just relying on stock video content in Canva. So usually I would make them as a template and share the template link, which is something you can do with Canva Premium. However, in this case, again, I was probably making too many exceptions, but sometimes we do this for clients. I actually uploaded them and put them into their Canva account, so they gave me access to their Canva and I loaded everything in there, which did make it kind of easy because they had all of their brand colors and fonts and that kind of stuff there in their Canva account. I've also just checked and I've had 51 people download the free social media manager portfolio template that I made. It was part of a paid collaboration with a brand and I launched that over the weekend. Only available for a limited time, so unfortunately by the time you guys are watching it, it is no longer available, but that's exactly why you should be following me on Instagram, because you get all of those kind of bonuses and kind of news and updates from me. The template is now going into my product, which is a social media manager template bundle, which people can purchase. So I will link that down below in case you do want to purchase it. But now I have two different templates for like a portfolio or services guide. One that's like a super easy drag and drop website template, and then another that's a Canva PDF. So I'm really excited to be expanding that template bundle that I sell. I've been slowly adding to it over the last like 4 months, and I'm going to be doing some work on that later today as well, so you can kind of see the back end of what I do for post-purchase email sequences for customers and how I upsell them into other programs. So as well as obviously working on my own client stuff, I coach other social media managers and freelancers and business owners. So this is my student community for the Dishing Up Digital School, and on Friday I posted a little thread asking for everyone's March wins. So I'm going to go in and reply to some of those because we've got some great ones in here. Natalie getting a new job, Lebo brushing up her portfolio, Eileen revamping her visuals and messaging and offers. We love that. Mallory had a client end a contract, but that felt like a win because it didn't cause any financial stress because I've been able to build such solid clientele and have others on a wait list. Freaking love that. So I'm gonna jump in and reply to these. Allison commented, purchase the Dishing Up Digital School. We love that. She's one of our new students. So I'm going to jump in and reply to those, and then maybe just send off some invoices so I can kind of clear my little admin to-do list. This is one other bad thing that I'll often do, is I'll get stuck doing little odds and ends just for the satisfaction of ticking them off my to-do list when I know I have bigger projects I should be working on. But I'm going to give myself this small thing because I did tick off the client work, and that was a big goal for today. The weather is so weird today. It's like cold heading into winter vibes, but also, as you can see, we're getting lots of glorious sunshine, which means the house is like really heating up in some rooms. So I keep like taking my dressing gown on and off. We have had a very productive morning. It is 10 past 11 and I'm jumping back into my to-do list. I have sent a message to my coach that I needed to send. I have sent reminders to my private coaching students to book in their calls, which means I can tick off all of my admin tasks from today. I have also sent invoices to 2 different clients. For invoicing software, I use Xero, which is quite a popular accounting software, so that's where I also keep track of all of my transactions, do my profit and loss reports, but I only usually do that for local clients who pay via bank transfer. For international clients, which was for a second invoice that I sent, I do just keep using PayPal, and I know PayPal has like high fees, but I just find it really easy. And I'll see what this I keep calling them a client, but it was technically a brand partnership that I made some content for. And I keep finding that some brands use like different software to pay their creators or UGC creators or influencers or whatever. And I have used Veeam now and a few others. So I tend to like, if it's like a large sum of money and a brand would prefer to send it to me on another platform, I'm kind of like, sure, whatever. But I will send my invoice first of all to them through PayPal. I am looking to update a lot of my systems and workflows in the next couple of months, especially for clients and coaching students / clients that I have as well. I really want to get a more automated workflow, like sending reminders to my private coaching students that they need to book in a one-on-one call. I really want to get to the point where that's all like an automated workflow, and I know that's doable. I just haven't had the time at the moment, and I ended up hiring an operations manager recently, and at the moment they're kind of starting with Mackenzie Studios and that business, and then next month they're going to be coming in helping me more with Dishing Up Digital and my agency and my coaching business. So I'm very excited about that. Often with invoices, I like to send analytics reports. This is a little bit of a tip for you guys who are on like maybe a monthly retainer, or you're coming up to your contract renewal with your client, or in my case, I would love to continue working with this brand and making more content for them. So I have a template for this again in my social media manager template bundle. I know I keep talking about it, but it's a great wee product. So in there, I have this analytics recap template, and the idea is it's meant to present analytics in a really pretty format, and you can obviously customize it to your brand colors, but there's also sections in there where you're meant to be analyzing the results and giving future ideas for your client, like getting them excited about how you could continue working together and how you're going to build on this data and how that's going to inform the next content ideas. And with this brand collaboration, I've also added in like future ways to work with me, and kind of changed up the template a little bit to suit my needs, because it was a brand collaboration and it was only 1 reel, 1 story and 1 YouTube short. So there wasn't as much to report on as I typically would with a management client. I would be going through all of their link clicks, I'd be going through all their engagement, I'd be analyzing their top 3 posts, I'd be analyzing the least or the lowest performing posts. So there's a lot more to it when I do a client report. But if you are interested and you want to see how I do that, it's in the template bundle, so I'll link that down below. Now, sometimes I start to get a little bit overwhelmed when my to-do list is like not in a chronological order. So I'm actually going to delete some of these things off. Controversial. I know a lot of people love having the satisfaction of a really long to-do list with lots of things ticked off. But now that I've smashed out quite a few, I don't feel like I need the categories as much. Oh my gosh, this is why I can't use a physical planner, because I need to be able to drag and drop and move things around too much, because I'm doing a lot running my business. As much as I love the good old pen and paper, it must be digital now. So I'm gonna do my client posts and DMs last. We are going to next film videos on my bundle. So obviously I will need to, unfortunately, put some real clothes on for this. And I've got my makeup bag, and I'm just gonna sit and watch some YouTube on the TV and have a little bit of a mini break and get myself ready for some filming. I actually went to a very cool sale on the weekend where I got this dress. It is a Zimmermann one, but it's an ex rental. So there is a brand that I rent dresses from quite often, and this is actually a dress, like this exact one I rented like 3 years ago and loved it. always wanted to buy it, but it's a $1,200 dress. So I was like, no way. And then I went to this sale and they were selling the X rental. So it's a little bit worn. I definitely need to iron out some of the wrinkles as well, but it's in pretty good condition and it was a ridiculous price. And then I also got this one, which is a Leo Lynn dress. I know this won't be everybody's style. It's got like the classic little bow that you do at the front. It's very frilly, but like I really like patterns and bold kind of dresses like this because it's really good for me for making content. It also came with a matching belt. Both of them came with matching belts, which is quite cute. That one does have a few seams bursting, which I didn't unfortunately realize when I bought it in the light of the store. It didn't look that bad, and then I got it home and I was like, I've just been trying to fix one of my sales funnels because I think something had not been linking correctly, but I think it's working now. Again, I'm very excited to have an operations manager who can help me with that kind of techie stuff because it's not really my strength. But we're all dressed now and I'm gonna film some videos for my template bundle and work on that sales funnel. Video is now filmed. I've immediately taken off that dress because it was way too hot. I've uploaded that video into the course library. Basically what I'm trying to do is build out my funnels a little bit more. I've been focusing on that for the first couple of months and I'm now working with a business coach to help me do that. And I know that I coach other people and I'm really good at that, but I think everybody needs their own sort of mentor business coach who can kind of be that more critical eye looking in on your business. And she kind of made me realize that when it comes to my digital products, like I am not really like selling as much as I should in my product suite. So like when people buy my template bundle, it's like, it's up to you if you want to like discover more about me, instead of being like, here's some video lessons, here's some follow-up emails, here's some more information about how you can work with me. Like I'm so good at selling on social media and I want to bring that energy into selling in the back end of my business so that when people buy from me with these smaller products, these smaller digital offers that I do, they're then constantly being kind of like introduced to new ways to work with me if they want to take that step. So like it took me a few takes to get this video right because I was just being too like soft, and like I think this is such a thing that a lot of women struggle with when it comes to sales, is like you're just like, oh yeah, like I have this thing, it's here if you want to buy it. Ellen, what are you doing? Like we need to demonstrate, we need to illustrate, paint the picture of how life-changing this course is. Let's share some student testimonials, let's do a walkthrough of the video lessons. And yeah, it took me so many takes to get it right. Also, I was having issues with my camera, which doesn't help. Now, I put on Instagram stories this morning that I was filming a day in the life and asked if anyone had any particular things that they wanted to see in the vlog. And Kate had actually asked about how I structure my day and how I take breaks, which is what I'm about to do right now, is take my lunch break. It is a little bit later. Sometimes I have like a late lunch. Sometimes I tend to sleep in more, and that is why I have a late lunch, because I won't have breakfast till 10 o'clock. But honestly, the structure of my day changes a lot depending on my mood, depending on how much work I have to get done. In general though, I'll say that I try to get like 70% of my to-do list or things I have to do in the day done by lunchtime, because I'm most productive in the morning, and then that means I can have a little bit more time to relax in the afternoon. Kate also asked how I tackle working from home, sometimes not feeling focused, sometimes not feeling creative. How do I reset myself when things come to a standstill? And that's honestly what happened this morning when I went to write my email list, and I was just checking in on it because it wasn't my best email, I'm not gonna lie. Like it was very much a the sale is ending, kind of lazy, and when I'm not creative I rely on repurposing. So I have in the back end of my business a content engine to record all of the content that I'm putting out on multiple platforms, Instagram, podcast, email lists, and I kind of use that as a bit of a repurposing engine, so I can like copy and paste in from other pieces of content and recycle it when I don't feel inspired. So that is a lifesaver. And yeah, my email this morning only has an open rate of 22%. Could I have prepped that email last week and optimized it a bit more? Probably. Could I have thought more on my subject line or be more creative? Probably. But I think sometimes we have to remember, oh no, my tag's been sticking out this whole time. I think we have to remember, like, as entrepreneurs and creators, we're actually not going to feel motivated every single day. In fact, you'll probably spend most of your days not being motivated. So you kind of have to get past that and just rely on discipline to get through what you need to get through, come back to your goals and recenter why you're doing what you're doing, the bigger picture or the impact or the life that you're creating, to tap into that motivation when it's not really there. And that's often why when it comes to my schedule, I like to make sure I have a lot of white space. Like I will always overestimate the deadline or the quote for like a client. If they're, for example, asking for template bundles, I won't say, yeah, I can do that in 2 weeks. I'll say that will take me 4 weeks. I like to give quite broad deadlines or give myself extra space when I'm working on a project, just so there's that flexibility. When you don't feel creative, you don't have to force yourself to work. So that's one little thing for you. Oh my gosh, guys, stop. I was about to head down for lunch. I'd finished up my work and I just had an email from one of the people I'd sent an analytics report to that I'd collaborated with. And they've just come back and they're interested in working on a significantly higher long-term content package with me and sponsoring across my YouTube channel and Instagram. So I literally was like picking up my camera on my way to get my lunch, and then I was like, no, panic, I have to update you, because this is exactly why I create these template bundles with things like analytics reports, regardless of if you're a social media manager or a creator or another service provider. Like, you should always be following up with analytics reports and having those little pages of how can we work together more, what are the next steps, because you are leaving money on the table. And as every like business coach likes to say, probably, you know, nothing new, repeating what everyone else says here, but like it's so much easier to sell to clients that are existing clients or customers that have already bought from you, rather than constantly chasing and trying to book new clients. So that is so cool that that's literally happened. I didn't expect them to reply as well because it's a Sunday in the US, but like I've just sent that off and now they're like sending that one email has created a $5,000 opportunity for me. That's insane. I promise you, I don't mean to be that boring person who only talks about the weather, but it is now raining. So I am heating up some leftover mac and cheese that I made last night. It doesn't look that appetizing because it's kind of all chilled off, but we're gonna heat it up and get the sauce all running again. And this is just my little like homemade cheese sauce, and it is so good. And I should probably have like an apple or something, a little like fruit platter to go with it. It is now 4:27 p.m. and I was not exaggerating when I said my energy levels and productivity slumps after lunch. I had an extra long lunch break just because I feel like I needed it, and I started putting a movie on Netflix which I'm enjoying called The Life List, about halfway through that. And then I have been parked up here on the sofa working on an email sequence. I do not enjoy writing emails. I feel like once I get into the swing of it and I force myself to do it, they are good emails for sure. Like, obviously my background is in writing. My university degree was in journalism, so I'm really good at storytelling, but I just find like videos, like I love editing videos, whether it's for YouTube or for Instagram Reels, and then when it comes to just writing something, I'm like, bleh, so boring. Like, there's so many better ways to tell a story. But I also know email marketing has been incredibly powerful for my business growth in the last couple of years. And I also really like that email marketing is something that you can really automate and personalize. So we're doing more of that in 2025. So I've been writing a post-purchase sequence for my template bundle. So if you do buy that, I hope you enjoy all the follow-up emails that I'm writing. Basically, the goal is to educate people on how they can better use the templates. So give them more information, more examples, more testimonials, so that they're getting the most out of the product that they're buying, which makes me happy, makes you happy, makes everybody happy. Anyway, I am about to head to the gym because that is also the final thing on my to-do list, and if I don't go now, I won't make it. So wish me luck. It is now 6:40. That took a lot longer than I wanted. I stopped at the supermarket and I've just put my nacho mince onto simmer. Gonna have a lovely little mince nacho with beans and corn chips and sour cream, and fingers crossed my avocados have ripened, because for us that will be really disappointing. Ooh, we sold another digital product. How good is that? One last thing I wanted to talk about today is my Instagram story strategy. I was just checking in on my stories and seeing how they were doing. I also have this little app that makes me take a deep breath before I open my social apps and my email. and it's really helpful for boundaries with my work. But my story strategy, I am really leaning into more what looks like casual and off the cuff and candid stories. I find the stories that we sort of used to, or everyone used to make 2 years ago, where they were pretty Canva graphics and slides that you'd go through with beautiful images and like graphics and pop-ups, like those just really aren't getting the reach anymore, and people just want to see more of you and more behind the scenes, behind the business on Instagram stories. So my strategy with these is I'll always start with some sort of personal story. So that's me like playing golf. It'll be something along those lines. It'll be golf, something I got up to in the weekend, a funny little like thing from my day. And then what I do is I start to like sprinkle in the sale in between the personal content. I took a screenshot of my sales for my template bundle for a promotion that I was part of. And I'm like, look at all the people that have purchased this. That is always a technique to create FOMO. When people are like, oh my God, why are so many people buying this bundle? I need to have it too. And then I've had a repost of a feed graphic carousel that goes a little bit more depth into the bundle and the promotion, and a link to purchase. I wonder how many people have clicked on that link out of curiosity. 12, only 12, but we've made 3 sales today. So some of those probably have come from email as well. And then at the end of this set of stories, I've just done another little like behind the scenes snapshot and just asked people for what they'd like to see in this YouTube vlog. I just find that that performs better. It gets better engagement rather than just, you know, jumping straight into a sale. Like I hook people in and then I sell to them. The good news is the avocado was perfect. This is my guacamole recipe from my mother. Avocado, lemon juice, red onion, salt and pepper, a little bit of tomato, and a little bit of mayonnaise as well. I'm probably just gonna leave this vlog here. I was gonna do like a little evening routine, but my camera is dying, and honestly, all I'm planning to do is watch TV, do a bit of journaling, do my skincare, and read my book in bed. So pretty boring, pretty stock standard. A great little solo day working on my own while Ali's been in Wellington. And yeah, if you enjoyed the vlog, let me know in the comments below. And I have a whole bunch of other vlogs on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Go have a binge, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!